Hello and welcome to our second while loop B. So make sure you name this 07 while loops B. And a hyphen is just the dash or the minus sign. What we're going to do in this one is we're going to get the computer to roll a dice. And we're going to roll a dice until we get 6. So we can get the while loop to do it continuously until we get a 6. We're going to keep track of the number of attempts we get. So I've got some comments here that kind of tell you the order to do it. So the first thing you're going to do is create a new instance of the random class. So that's pretty easy. Random, and we'll call it numgen or something like that, equals new random, bracket, bracket, semicolon, right? And then you're going to instantiate a variable to keep track of the dice roll and the number of attempts. So that's two variables you got to do, and both of them probably should be integers. Then you're going to create your own while loop, which prints out the dice roll. So it's going to check each time to do the dice roll. And you can use a not equals to make sure it's not equal to 6. So you'll keep doing it until it equals 6. But within the while loop, you got to print out what number you got. So if the first time you got a 2, then you put 2. If the first time you got a 3, you put 3, so on and so forth until you get a 6. And then you're going to keep track of how many times you rolled. And after the while loop, you got to print out to the console how many times you did it. Then we want you to do it continuously so you can just have fun with it and see how many times it takes you each time. So you can use a start and a go to start to make it run continuously, kind of at the front, at the back end and the front end. Or even better, you could try to do it in a while loop. At this point, I don't think this one's super hard, but it's going to definitely take some thinking. I would pause the video and give this a try for at least 15 minutes. Remember, a while loop is just simply while, bracket, bracket, and then curly bracket, curly bracket. Give it a shot for 15 minutes. If you can't get it, then come back to this video and you'll see, and I'll explain exactly how to do it. All right, welcome back. This is where you check your code against mine. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, obviously. We're going to do that. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new instance. So I'm going to go random, new instance of the random class. And this is the name of the instance of the random class, equals new. All right, so there you go. You've got your instance of the random class. Now the next thing what we need to do is we need to create or instantiate these two variables. So they're both going to be int. So I'm going to say int, and I'm going to go dice roll. And to start off with, I'm going to say it's equal to 0. And then we're going to say int, and I'm going to go num for number of, and again, I'm going to say that is equal to 0. So we've given it a value. You see that they're in green because we haven't used them yet, so that's unnecessary. So then we're going to go a while loop. So we're going to go while. And I always like to just get all the syntax out first and then come back and fill it in. Now, what we want the while loop to run as long as it is not 6. Okay, so we're going to say dice roll is not equal to, so that's the exclamation mark and then the equal sign 6, right? So we're going to do that. Then what we're going to do, so dice roll, so the first time it's equal to 0, so it's going to run right away. But then we've got to actually figure out what the dice roll is. So now we're going to use the random class. So we're going to say equals, and then we're going to say numgen dot, and then we're going to put a semicolon to end our line. So that's going to print a number between 1 and 6, because remember 7 is not inclusive, whereas the first number 1 is inclusive. So it can give us anything from 1 to 6. CW tab for a console.write line, and then I'm going to do a set of quotation marks, and inside the quotation marks you're going to say I rolled a, then I go curly bracket 0, curly bracket, period to end the sentence. I'm going to go to the end, and then comma space, and then this is going to be dice roll. Then that was an attempt. So now we're going to say num of attempts plus plus. So it was 0, now it's going to be 1. So we've got 1 attempt. When we do that, it's printed out. So it's done everything we wanted. We create your while loop, which prints out the dice roll. We've increased the number of attempts. We've said it's not equal to 6, so it'll run continuously until it's equal to 6. And then we're going to give it a CW tab. It says we rolled the dice however many times to get a 6, so that's going to grab the number of attempts to do that. So we have to go comma space. And then we're going to do another CW. Okay, so I'm going to say press any key to roll again. And then we're going to have a console.read key. So this is where we could just try it once. So these are all the number of rolls, the rolls I got, and it took me 7 times to get a 6. Press any key to roll again. Now that's not going to work because we haven't set that up yet. So we could do the start just before the while loop. Actually, no, we'd have to do the start before here. We could go okay. So this time it only took 4 times. And all you do is press enter and it does it again, press enter and it does it again, press enter and it does it again. Now, instead of that, we could put it in a while loop and we'll say while it's true. So now we put the whole thing in a while loop. And if we press start, and then just press any key, does it again, does it again, does it again. And that is how you do 07 while loops B. Thanks for watching.